It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Avales. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, everyone. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, if you are watching us live right now and in living color and you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. And it even works if you're watching us later. Just make sure you subscribe and tell a friend that you are a huge fan of Dishin Days and want to know what we think of each week's episodes. And if watching us on your TV or computer screen or tablet is too much, you can just listen to us on your favorite podcast station. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just search Dishin Days and you can take us along while you're stuck in traffic, while you're pumping iron, or maybe while you're doing a little summer cleaning in the house. Listen to all of our thoughts on what happened in Salem this week. Also, make sure you show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who is serving up a couple of spoons, forks, and knives of his own. Make sure you check out his recap on Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, and General Hospital, along with some original audio dramas, because James Lott Jr. is old enough to remember when your mom would play Curtis Mayfield on cleaning day. He likes those. And also, all throughout the show, make sure you tell us your thoughts. And if you're watching us later, make sure you tell us your thoughts by commenting below. If you haven't noticed already, we are down not one, but two people. Michael Mattis is still on hiatus, but will be making a grand return very soon. And Araceli most likely had one too many, as she was celebrating her 55th birthday this past Thursday.
Yes, happy birthday.
I'm just kidding. She's not 55, y'all. She's probably going to message me and be like, how dare you tell people that? I'm going to say, well, when you start answering a question, then maybe I wouldn't have to lie. So it's just me and Justin. Dishin Days is blickety black today. What did you think of this week's episodes?
They were okay. Nothing crazy. We didn't get a lot of like plot stuff, but yeah, we got like good, like a little things here and there, you know, enough to talk about, I guess. I
feel like it was little things to move the story along this week, but nothing like major, but it still kept you engaged. Yeah, which is importante. Yeah, I'm surprised they're keeping on with these three major storylines that are kind of intersecting a little bit, but I don't know. I say this is probably the longest they've had three storylines that have kept people interested and engaged this long. Yeah. Well, I think there's one thing that people are losing interest in, but maybe this week it kind of sparked something up. Well, without further ado, Justin Lee Hareld, Tony Moore here to get things started. It is now time to start Dishin Days. See what happens when you only have two people? You can actually say it together. All right, y'all, let's get things started with your first storyline, which is the brothers Grimm. That's right. A little battle between, this might be all the brothers, honey. I know, yeah. Everybody who's a brother. Not a brother, but sibling. Specifically the Brady. Yeah, the Brady. Eric one. Can we start with now? There was something I could not think of what storyline it was. Oh, it was Baby Jude. I just remembered. Where I thought, oh wow, they are keeping this secret for a long time. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Holly not knowing that Eric killed her daddy. Yeah, has probably been the longest secret ever. And is it me, Or did you think this too? When she pulled it up on the internet, I thought to myself, you ain't do that when you was like 12?
Exactly.
You
This is
didn't
a
you
yeah.
didn't type in your daddy's name, be like Daniel Jonas. And then that didn't pop up until just now?
This is a little bit of a stretch. Like, and it was funny that Tate revealed it to her. Like, and then he found out between Teresa and Kim talk gossiping about it one day, and I was like, "How has this not come out already?" Like, of all the different people who know this story, you're telling me this is probably the best kept secret in Salem. Like, how does? And I think it was funny because I think they said like I think certain people thought she already knew or something, but even if you thought she already knew at some point in her life recently, it wouldn't have come up like, oh, you
Yeah.
forgive Eric, or it's a sensitive subject, or blah blah blah, or even Maggie forgiving Eric, or like I don't know. It was like, wait, what? She doesn't know? I don't know. It's a little far fetched. I like what's coming out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
mean,
feel
there's
like
obviously a reason for this.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little
I
far fetched though that she didn't know.
I
Like,
met a girl recently who has a podcast where she's been investigating her dad's murder, right?
oh.
And I know that like Nicole told Holly that the drunk driver died too,
Hmm.
but like I don't know, it just seems like at some point she would have like asked questions and then probably just looked it up on the internet. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a whole article there about it.
yeah. It's like Eric went to jail for it, and then remember, like Brady has Daniel's heart, so like, because that's it. I'm like, she knew none of this. I guess, like,
She was just frolicking through
yeah,
wherever she was, just not caring.
yeah. Funny that I thought Tate was gonna bring up that part of it too. Like, oh, your dad dying sort of saved my dad's life, but even that, like, apparently she doesn't know about. I guess, but
Right. Wait, Rayburn says history change. Eric did not run over Daniel. He was in the car with Brady when drunken Eric crashed into him.
wait, what?
He tried to
Oh, someone
rewrite
thought.
history
Oh,
by adding Brady, who was not in the car.
oh.
Um,
uh,
and Tia says, does this story not hit the same way because Nicole is off screen? And you know what I thought was not this reveal without Nicole.
Yeah, like Nicole really told Eric to handle it like it was like an errand to run. Like you can
Yeah.
talk to her about it. Like, no, Nicole would want to be there to like they should be
To
breaking that news as a family.
but also I'm with Holly. It's like so the love of your life, who you are just happy as a clam with
Yeah.
in Paris, killed my father, who
Mm-hmm.
was once the love of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You kept it from me and like you're okay with it. Like you can like is there ever a moment where like Nicole is like sleeping and then maybe she has a dream about Daniel and then she wakes up and she looks at Eric and just goes, "Oh my god, you had a nightmare. I'm so sorry." Oh.
Or be terrified someone's gonna spill it to Holly. Like even the time that Eric and Nicole weren't together, wouldn't that would have been the time to tell her, like, you were divorced from Eric for what, a few years now before you guys just got back together? Like that would have been the time to like maybe let that secret. Like I understand, like if she's young, you don't want to say, or I don't know. Part of me understands like you're marrying Eric the first time when they were
Mm-hmm.
one big happy family and wanting to like maybe threaten that, but I don't know. To me, that was probably the first time. Oh, but Mike Gordon. Yeah, that was a long one too.
Yeah, the
I
longest
guess.
kept secret
Yeah.
of days was the paternity of Mike Horton. Okay,
Yeah.
Joyce. Come on with the history.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm like, you can give you as she's growing up, I think you could have given her maybe not the whole story, but you could have told her maybe Eric was responsible. It was an accident. This is what happened. I don't know. But she's now a 17-year-old girl finding this out, and she's been like praising this man as being great and amazing. And not that, again, it was an accident. He didn't do it on purpose, but also, she's going to have some feelings about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're having a happy reunion with the love of your life. Like, that should have been front and center about telling her. They should have at least told her before they moved to Paris. Like, come on.
They should have told her a long time ago.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1, this is switching over to the other family members of Brady and Xander.
Mm-hmm.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you just wanted to like slap Brady and tell him to be quiet, or 1, you wanted him just to keep talking. A scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall when Brady kept insisting on saying that he was guilty?
A 10.
Sarah just wanted to shut him up.
Yes.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, listen, you can't come in here like a savior and be like, I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I did. Lock me up. I did it. Everybody will be okay. It almost felt like he was just kind of like, well, no one is concerned about me anyway. Tate doesn't like me. Rachel, I can barely see. Whatever. I'll just say I'm guilty and everyone will be okay. No, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen destroyed the car. You have no memory of it.
Yeah.
Why would you go in and say that you're guilty? If you had listened to Kristen and just had ran, and then when the police came to get you, you were just like, I have no memory of that night.
I mean, he's trying to do the right thing, which I get, I guess. I wish he was... Well, he's wrong, but he thinks he's doing the right thing, that he's responsible. So
you can't do the right thing the wrong way.
Wait, Justin, what do you mean? If he thinks he's responsible.
If you hit me with the car, at least you think you did, but you have no memory of it. Are you gonna sit up in that police station and say you guilty?
If I thought I hit you, yeah, that would be the right thing to do if I actually believe that. So wait, you're saying the right thing to do is not take responsibility for something you think you did?
The right thing to do is say, listen, I feel for my insert how y'all are related here. I have no recollection of that night.
But it sounds like you're saying you don't think you did it. Oh, no. If you don't think you did it or you're unsure, you shouldn't take responsibility. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, that's the question. Yeah.
How do I know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to say guilty of something, and if I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
You can take accountability if you know for sure, but you can't take accountability if you don't know for sure.
Well, yeah. But I think in the sense that he believes he hit her, then he's doing the right thing.
Then I think I did, based on
what? Yeah.
No memory, no car, no substantial evidence.
I mean, he definitely, EJ, which I'm glad was sort of emphasized this week, doesn't really have a great case against him, which is why he sort of had to let him go, at least for now.
EJ needs to sit down. Because he's ready to throw the book at everybody except himself.
I know. I'm like, wait, why are you? I mean, I know him and Brady have never gotten along, but I'm also like, wait, why are they like what's fueling this animosity too? I'm like, wait, what? Am I forgetting about something else? No, it's like these people they just are forever mad at each other. You know what I mean? They just are forever in a feud.
Like, just holding grudges.
Yeah.
And not being like Elsa and letting it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I was like, he just hates Brady because they've always disliked each other. But yeah, there's no case there. I was like, haven't you learned your lesson with Gabi? Oh, here's our friend.
Oh, here she is. See, I knew she was going to be in here.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. Now, put Araceli back up. You know what the shade is? How is your thumbnail for your YouTube channel of General Hospital, Araceli. No loyalty. We all can agree Fiona is evil.
Yeah, I still love. I think she's losing. I feel like she's not the killer type. This whole like grabbing the pillow for Sarah. I'm like, Fiona, like this is her grasping for stuff. She's not. I don't think she's the killer type.
Did she? Okay, she didn't give Sarah something, did she?
No, I don't think so.
Because the way that she was saying to
right.
her, I was like, did I miss something? Did she slip her a pill or something? Because Sarah's just saying.
I know. I was like, this is a really intimate moment.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird.
Oh God, yeah. Or maybe we'll get a flashback to her putting something. I mean, it could be, maybe.
And then have the audacity to be like, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. What are you about to do in this house where everybody done seen you with her last?
Oh God. I know. It's like, Fiona, please put that pill. I mean, sure, you know, the requisite, someone's gonna walk in, I'm assuming Xander with the soup.
At this point, we about to have a Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs Avengers.
Yeah.
Starring Fiona, Connie. Who else is Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Green.
Residents.
Connie,
and I think she's desperate, Fiona. And she's grasping now because of everything that's at stake now. She's living in the Kyriakis mansion. I think she genuinely, like, I know we had some suspicions about her motives for Xander sort of taking over everything, but I feel like she's shown herself, at least on the family side, to be very genuine. She wants a relationship with Xander. She's enjoying him needing her. She's in the Kyriakis mansion now. I think she genuinely cares about Sarah. I think all of this is too much and it's coming down on her. I think if she were a villain, like a traditional villain who either hated Sarah or was just out for money or something, I don't think she'd care as much. But I think this weird dichotomy.
Then how about this? Fiona, take a couple of dollars, say, oh my God, this visit has been good. I gotta go home.
Oh, and then leave. Yeah. I mean,
and then go.
Yeah.
And then whatever Sarah remembers, you can be
on the other side of that.
Not bothered.
But I think it's interesting. Sarah remembers that the person who was driving wasn't Brady.
Oh, so does she remember does she remember the 2 minutes that she had to look at the driver? Does she remember that?
No. Deer in headlights. The headlights were blinding her. So, yeah. I do want to say, though, the scenes with, going back to this just for a second, the scenes with Brady and Tate, I thought were really well done. I thought Eric was like great and really good in those scenes, or both the guys were, but Eric especially, I thought was really great in those scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, even if Brady is always is always finding himself in these weird situations, and
if I were Tate, I would have walked into that room at the police station and just looked at Brady and been like, I'm sick of y'all.
I know, yeah. It's like, you got something to say about me and Holly now? Like,
I'm so sick of y'all.
All this BS of keeping us
together. Get yourself together before you try to get me together.
Really?
Speaking of getting people together, other siblings, Aaron and Mark. We so we know a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry. Mark, don't be telling Aaron he gonna have to pay that scholarship back.
I know. I was like, what? They have money. Like, what do we tell? Yeah. Like, stop trying to be honorable now. It's like, we know what you're up to. Like, this is ringing false.
I'm with Aaron.
Yeah.
Baby, that was offered to me.
Yeah.
And so I took it.
Yeah. Tate can pay his father back if he'd like.
I'm not finna pay nobody back. And
Yeah.
Mr. Black better not come up to me talking about, well, you owe me. No, you need to talk to your son.
Right? Exactly.
Your son came up with that plan. I just took it. Go talk to your son.
Listen, my son was taken advantage by Tate and Holly in this whole scheme just to keep them together. Like, yeah.
Go talk to him.
I know. That part right false. I was like, you have no moral high ground here, Mark Green.
And he knows it too, but he's not coming up with it.
Yeah.
That's why he tried to be like, oh no, I can't help you with your health records for sports. It's like, oh yeah, you'll get in trouble for that, huh? I'm like, thank you for letting us know, because little do you know, he done messed up some test results.
Yeah. But interesting. He's not living a double life, I want to say, because we still don't know. Well, we'll talk about this later. We still don't know issues with that side of what he's doing or the reasoning why. But it's interesting that he's presenting as this responsible adult who's trying to be this great example for his siblings, which is nice. But yeah, we'll see how accurate that is. Or yeah.
Well, let's just go into that storyline, because we're finished with the Brothers Grimm, right? We're done with that.
Yeah.
Let's go into siblings.
Okay.
Since we're talking about the Greens. Speaking of being siblings, so we got Felicity.
Yeah.
We got Aaron. We got Mark. And now Abifail.
Yes.
Who they intentionally was like, thanks, bro. You're welcome, sis.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
And let me tell you, that sis wasn't a gay sis where you're like, you welcome, sis. It meant sister, brother. So we now know that she is a Green.
Although I have a feeling he's probably used the other as well. So I think he's no stranger to he's no stranger to either, I think. But that'll come up later, maybe. But
this storyline is intriguing because, you know, so here's what we know. Number one, we know that they are all siblings. Number two, we now know that their parents were killed in a car accident. Because when Aaron and Mark were talking, the car accident was brought up and Aaron was like, I know how you feel about that. Okay. We also know that Abifail and Mark have this plan that is obviously against Chad and the Devereaux. The question is, why?
Yeah.
Do you think it's all related?
I feel like there's more to the parent story, and not necessarily like that they're alive, but I wonder if they're regurgitating a story that they think is true. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're lying when they're talking, saying like our parents died in a car crash. I don't know if that's a lie as far as they know, but I wonder if there's more to the story. We know that Clyde's involved, so it's a question of, are they also related to Clyde? Are they a member of his family somehow? Are their parents affiliated with Clyde somehow? We know Clyde's involved, of course, because he set this whole thing in motion. And there seems to be some resistance, at least from Abifail, about what she's doing. Not so much with Mark. So I'm wondering, are they doing this plan under duress? Is this their plan? Yeah. And we know Clyde's involved, of course, but is he pulling the strings? Is he the initiator? Yeah, there's a lot of questions here.
Yeah.
And also, I guess we never got clarification. I'm assuming now that the Greens are newer to Salem, or at least she's been, either they're new to Salem within the last couple years, or she has been estranged from the rest of the siblings. Because then in order to sell this, which is another thing too, like you're walking around town with your siblings are there. Are you expecting Aaron not to see you? Are you expecting Felicity not to see you?
Oh, because
are you expecting no one to know?
The second Felicity sees her, is going to be like, hey, girl.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm interested in this too. Well, actually, wait. I'm wondering if they know her. Maybe they don't know her, and
Maybe
that's the
this is
plan.
like a half sister or something.
Or maybe they just either they don't know of her existence, or they don't know her well enough to know what she looks like, because that would kind of foil everything if she's walking around Salem with, Aaron can run into her, Felicity could run into her.
Well, at the moment, Aaron was off at lacrosse camp.
Uh-huh.
And we know Felicity's schedule.
Yeah, but still, it's like, Salem, where she's going to the town square, she's going to the park. Yeah, I'm wondering, yeah, I'm now thinking they don't know either of her, or they don't know her well enough to know what she looks like, maybe.
I don't know. The whole storyline is intriguing, but I think that the cracks are starting to show, because even Stephanie was looking at her like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you. Shout out though to the fan on Twitter who did a side by side of when Stephanie was sharing the story about her and Max, and then someone found the clip
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
of I believe her name was Shayna Rose, and
Oh, Shayna back then, yeah.
yes, and then who originally Ashley Benson, who
Oh,
played
yeah.
Abigail back
Uh-huh.
then, and actually showed the scenario, and I was like,
Yeah. Oh, too.
bravo on that.
I know, it was like 3 actresses ago. Like,
I know, right? Um, but also, I thought it was interesting of Chad kind of being like, listen, if it wasn't for those DNA tests, I wouldn't have thought she was her either.
yeah, which is like, I don't know.
Well,
Again,
because even though you have no memory of yourself, you're still yourself.
yeah.
Like,
I
you don't
thought,
completely change.
mm-hmm. Like she would still, yeah.
She would still have certain mannerisms. She would
Yeah,
still have a certain
exactly.
look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yep.
But I thought when they first rescued her, the way Chad looked at her was kind of like, I know those eyes. So I was sold that he thought it was Abigail, but
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
even
Or maybe he did then, like he wanted to believe it. But now it's a
maybe
couple weeks later, and it's like, okay, she's not remembering anything. She doesn't feel like herself, or she doesn't feel like Abigail to me. Again, Jennifer is still the smartest person in the room, but so of course we had to we had to shove her off back to Boston. The woman that had a visceral reaction of like, you're not my daughter. I know I should think you're my daughter, and maybe I'm wrong, but yeah,
they talked about her in Boston, and I just imagined
yeah,
her just being like, that ain't my baby.
yeah.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm,
Like
mm-mm.
Chad saying it, Jack saying it. I guess I have to believe it.
No, she's
Yeah,
still over
yeah,
there just like, mm-mm,
yeah,
not my daughter.
yeah, exactly. I know. It's like, even I think Leo was trying to get through to the chat about the DNA. It's like, yeah, that's as reliable as a marriage certificate or something. Like, come on.
Right. As speaking of, um, as he was saying that he's using it for body and soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did he say? And then he followed up with like, "My life is this." I was like, "Oh, come on! Like, let's." You've had, you've had ever since you appeared as a 16-year-old. Your life has been nothing but a soap opera. Your wife has now returned from the dead twice. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah.
Lord. Oh yeah, people keep talking about the time capsule. I think they left that alone, honey.
Oh, the time. Oh, Lord. God. The forgotten storyline.
Right?
Unless that's going to be some sort of, yeah, Chekhov's gun where it shows up and it solves one of these mysteries or something. But yeah,
Maybe. I don't know.
we may not see that to the end of the 60th. Who knows?
Yeah. Um I think even Steve is obviously becoming
Yeah.
suspicious, because when Stephanie went home and mentioned that, you know, Abifail was like, "Oh, you talked to her earlier." Kayla was literally like, "I ain't talked to her,"
Yeah.
and then just like went about her day. And Steve was like,
Hmm. And it's where you could tell Abifail is overwhelmed because she couldn't even keep the connection to like lie. She didn't realize like, oh, I'm talking to Stephanie, who is
Who
the
can
mother, so
probably
I
go
shouldn't
back
say that. Yeah,
and
like
say, "Oh yeah,
yeah, can
I
corroborate
didn't."
that. I was like, oh yeah, she's
Sloppy.
yeah, she's yeah, and it's like okay, what I'm curious now the research they gave her.
None.
Because I know what does she know about Abigail? Where's
None.
like the file she needs to pull out to read all about these things? Like,
None.
yeah,
None. And her only memory is that fake being killed.
yeah,
You can remember like, oh my God, Stephanie, I remember that. You can,
yeah.
you know, anyone else that has impersonated someone has done research.
I know she has
Bonnie,
nothing to give.
Addie.
She has nothing to say. She's meeting everyone and finding out everything and sort of reacting. I do like her reactions to like the craziness of Abby's life of being like, oh, I slept with you too, okay, or I was an enemy of yours and blah blah blah. So we can tell she's sort of getting a kick out of all of this, but yeah, she seems to have no frame of reference for anything. Like who's supply? Yeah,
They're just like, go there, have amnesia. She's like, okay.
yeah. She's like, you're impersonating another white woman named Abigail. Go ahead. Like, there's no information.
Hot mess.
Like,
Hot
mess. God.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it with that storyline, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's go to another hot mess. The threesome strikes again. Okay. Everyone who is watching, I'm going to start with Justin first, though. I would like for you to rate and discuss the acting skills of Chanel Dupree and Alex Kyriakis.
Ooh, like 1 to 10
as Faith and Arrow.
Oh, I thought they were good. I give them a high ranking. I loved like the melodrama of including like real sort of soap staples and in their history. I like them together. I thought they were both good in different ways. I thought Alex was not hamming it up, but he was like putting on the melodrama a little more. I think Chanel was a little bit more reserved until the end, but like she like really brought the emotion. But yeah, I thought they were good. Like I see why the idea of seeing them argue and fight was a draw for Abe and Johnny.
I gotta give a shout out to Abigail Klein as Stephanie.
Oh,
as
really?
She was going over the lines with Alex.
Yeah.
She was just like,
yeah.
That was good. That was good.
And then when she did the medical jargon, that was funny.
Yeah. I also just have to give a shout out to Raven and Robert Scott Wilson. I said Robert, and I was just like, oh.
That's right.
Like, no.
Because you just say Rob.
Right. I feel like if you say Robert, you have to say Robert Scott Wilson. Or if you say Rob, it's just Rob, right? But as soon as I said Robert and tried to stop, I was like, oh. Robert Scott Wilson. But Rob and Raven, kudos to them.
Yeah.
Because it's like you have to be in this mind of, how do I play this character, but as my character? And I thought they both did a really good job. Interesting that the show brought back their threesome stuff just to like put this together.
I love the older generation finding out. Like,
first of all, don't be telling my stepdad.
Exactly. I know, right? I know, right?
My stepdad don't need to know that I was in a threesome. Don't be like, keep that to yourself. That's not something to discuss.
I love Abe instantly telling Kate, who had the best response, and very Kate like,
oh, it's good. You should experiment. There's a part of me that really wants to know what everyone thinks about the Body and Soul storyline.
Yeah. I'm still I again, like Raven, like Rob, think they did a great job, and also they did an amazing job. Also, sort of you're sort of also like mocking yourself in your profession when doing the storyline. But so I give them a lot of praise with going there and being able to do that and not taking themselves so seriously. I don't know where we're going with this storyline.
I don't either.
I don't know with Body and Soul, and I also don't know what they're doing with this Johnny, Chanel, Alex thing. It's kind of Stephanie in the mix too. I'm like, are we setting up another triangle here for the future? Are we just adding something to Body and Soul as a little one-off? Like, yeah, like we talked about last week, like her being mad at him still makes no sense.
Right.
And they kind of tried to address that this week, but it still didn't make any sense. That she was just mad. She's like, I'm just mad again. I was like, okay, well, all right.
But also, I feel like there's no need to shake anything up with Johnny and Chanel.
Yeah.
Because I think Chanel is a strong enough woman to be like, yeah, we did that. It was fine. I do not want that boy.
Yeah.
Like, I am with you, Johnny. But like, even Johnny was like, at first was like, oh, I can see why Abe made that decision. He had on his directorial hat.
Yeah.
Then he put on that husband hat when that kiss happened. And he was just like, them eyes got the fluttering and like you could tell in his mind, he was like, this mother.
He was like, shit, what did I start or what did I contribute here?
It was like, there's no need to be jealous. Like,
yeah. And I'm also like, okay, they didn't do the baby storyline to do this storyline. It's like, okay, right. We'll see. No, yeah, I'm not.
But also, you know, it's weird because I think it's like it's a lot of separation. I can separate Raven and Rob from Chanel and Alex, but now I can separate Chanel and Alex from Faith and Arrow, and I'm sitting here like, oh, I'd watch them.
Totally.
I still think though that Body and Soul, I think if they had did the auditions on the main show,
okay, yeah,
and did like maybe one episode or something where or two where the auditions happened, they casted everyone, and then they were just like, we're gonna start shooting, right? And then Beyond Salem, just give us a 5-episode arc of the ins and outs of this, and then just allow Body and Soul to be something maybe that's played in the background sometimes if people are like watching TV or something like that. Boom. I think that's all we needed from Body and Soul.
Or that the characters reference of I gotta go to work, or like it's a background thing, like another workplace environment. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little interested in Body and Soul.
Yeah, I mean it's coming together. The craziness is coming together. We also had, I don't know if I include it in this, but we also had the now Bonnie and Hattie are at it, and
help me understand why Hattie needed to impersonate Marlena.
I think she wanted to make sure Leo was loyal to her, I guess, or like to get him on her side, or or like maybe they'll think like, oh, I need to impress him to like, so he'll write, since he's a header, he'll write for me, or he'll understand that I'm a good actress and I can pull this off. Maybe I'm so good that I fooled you into thinking that I was Dr. Marlena Evans Robichaux. And Bonnie came. I'm also going to say this. I think Body and Soul is a little too close to home because some of these conversations might be a little too. They're playing out.
because when Hattie was like, "There's the star of the show, and it's me," and Bonnie was talking about, well, she has 62 and I only have 49. I was like,
I think this is Ron airing some behind the scenes stuff out.
I was sitting there like, now, baby, are we sitting here getting some tea?
this could be an amalgamation of all the. I mean, he was on wrote for a few different shows. I mean, I'm sure this is all true. Even if it's not necessarily Deidre in Judy, it's definitely other soap actresses. Yeah,
it's somebody.
Yeah,
it's like
someone we know.
It's like, you remember during the movie The Help, when they were reading the book, and they realized it was about Jackson. It's almost like I feel like we're gonna watch Body and Soul and be like, now who is he really?
Yeah,
who is he really talking about?
I mean, yeah,
we may have to open a whole investigation on that.
I think some people can imagine who Faith and Arrow is based on. That makes it even funnier if they have Rob he's now making fun of a former character he probably played.
John Del Rey said the latest episode of Drag Race they watched had a Night of 1,000 Marlenas runway. Somebody would be the devil. All right. Well, that was it.
Right? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't a ton of stuff that happened. Yeah.
Well, before we get into our one tidbit, just want to do a quick reminder. We are breezing through this show.
I know.
Just a quick reminder to please follow us on all social media platforms. We're Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, Twitter, and Threads. Also, make sure you please subscribe to our YouTube channel. While you're at our YouTube channel, check out our past episodes. We have many. Also, our mini interviews from Day of Days and the Daytime Emmys with many of your favorite current and past cast members of Days of Our Lives. So go take a look at our YouTube channel, and of course, show some love on your favorite podcast station, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We can be found there. Also, show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr. You can find him on YouTube, JLJ Media, where all videos and podcasts can be found. Also, keep telling us your thoughts, and also make sure you comment below and let us know what you think. We may not respond to comments, but we do see them. All right, and our one and only tidbit is a tit for tat,
so to speak.
Gabi, Stefan, and EJ. When Stefan looked at Gabi as EJ took his feet to shuffle those clothes under the bed, and he goes, "Are those your clothes?" I wanted to be like, well, whose clothes would they be, honey?
I know, it was like one of those dull bubbles of like, yeah, you're just now getting it. Like, keep up.
I wish there was like EJ just being EJ and being like, no, they're mine. His whole big toe was wrapped around her small like blouse.
I know. It's like, way to be obvious. Yeah.
Like not even like a as we're walking, just like a little flick. Like I'm sorry. Oh, it's like them toes said.
He could have just stood on it too, just like
right. I think it's interesting though that like even after they did it, there's still obviously a hate for each other, but also I think she regrets it.
Yeah, I wonder if like funny thing. Yeah, I think she regrets it now that sort of Stefan came in and she saw how well she did it before he came in, but still, I think seeing his reaction, or that he still didn't want to fight for her, so maybe that's what she wanted, even if maybe she wasn't being honest with herself, but. Once she found out he was just as pissed as maybe she was, she felt bad and was regret. But I feel like EJ was sort of softening to Gabi a bit. So I'm wondering if like he's going to be the interesting one in this triangle here. Maybe he is the one who's going to maybe not pursue her, but maybe get a little close to her. EJ, I felt like he was softening in his hatred of Gabi in that moment. He was definitely being sympathetic to her, and
surprised EJ didn't have a bigger reaction when Stefan punch the dog piss.
I know, right? He was probably like, I kind of deserve it, or even though I'm pissed at you and we're in this again. Why there are another two who are like, why you hate each other again? Like I thought we were moving past things,
but also it's like both Gabi and Stefan gave up on Gabi and Stefan so quickly, which is a little odd for me.
Yeah,
y'all have been through way too much to just muck it up like this. Like I almost feel like Stefan would have been like, fine, tit for tat. Do you feel better? Do you feel better? You already done had her sis. I'd already done had his sis. Like, we're good now, right? Are we even?
Okay. God.
Let's go have Cook have us dinner.
Yeah. Okay, I did laugh out loud when EJ went downstairs and ran into Stephanie and Abifail. It was just like,
and like how Abifail was looking at him like, not Abifail, how Stephanie was looking at him like, don't like that dude. You in his house.
Yeah, I do like that they bring up their history because they don't always talk about it, and they brought up the kidnapping part, but I thought they were going to bring up the race car stuff because that's when they both came on the show together and they were
as
rivals.
Race car drivers.
Yeah, and they were rivals, and that was not the main storyline because EJ was sort of, he was brought on for Sammy, of course, but like they were in each other's orbit when they first, as characters, when they first came on the show. So I like when they reference that or like put them together in a weird way.
I do like when they bring that up too, because sometimes I'm like, wait a minute. What? Wait.
It was so long ago, you forget about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess now all we can do is see what's going to happen with these two.
I like it though. I think Sherry has some good chemistry with Dan too. Like I do think she has chemistry with Brandon, but I'm not mad at if they decide to explore something with her and Dan.
Amen. Oh, okay. Well, Deborah, thank you very much for your super sticker.
Oh,
we appreciate you on that.
Thank you.
We'll take that. Thank you. Didn't even leave a comment. She just send money. Thank you. We appreciate that. We love a good super sticker. All right. Well, everyone, that was your week of days. It is now time to go into our favorite part of our show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is, we only have two. Well, we have three. But we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's Official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap! Oh, snap!
There we go. Sometimes I love when someone gives a read and you're not expecting that person to give a read. I snap for this person, and this is why. Take a look.
Let's not forget that Brady is a member of the family. A family who, by the way, didn't write you off after you held my wife hostage in the garden shed. And yet, I don't remember you offering me legal services back then, did you? Huh? But then you're all too happy to sign up to be Brady's lawyer. You're lucky you don't need a lawyer now, after you tried to choke him to death.
When Justin said, "You lucky you don't need a lawyer now," I said, "Oh, Justin Kiriakis, not the read, not the read. You don't read people, Justin Kiriakis." So
that was
Wally
a good exchange.
That was real good. So Wally Kerr, Justin Kiriakis, for reading Xander, you get Tony's Official on it. 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
I said, not Justin Kiriakis. Not Justin Kiriakis reading him, honey. And it was so quick, too. You lucky you don't need a lawyer now. Justin. I lived. We obviously don't have a caption that because Michael Mattis has been gone since Hatchet had a hammer. We do have. Those were the days.
All right, I'm taking you back to September 4th, 2008, where Miss Marlena Evans had enough of John Black / Ryan Dimera's bullshit and divorced him promptly for his shenanigans. If you remember the storyline, this was when Stefano faked John's death. He died. This after the Colleen Santos storyline. So he came back with a different personality where he was probably moved into Dimera Mansion and lived basically as Ryan Dimera at that point. And Marlena was trying to stick with him. She was trying to fight for this marriage, but of course, John/Ryan was a different person, much like Abifail, and different personality, and was not the same man that she fell in love with. This is also the point where he was with Ava, so he was with Ava this time too. But yes, Marlena promptly said, "Enough of this. You are not the person I love or I married, so I will promptly divorce you," which she later remarried like 6 months later, but that's besides the point. This was September 4th, 2008, when Marlena had enough and officially divorced John.
And
those were the days.
We do not have It's a Gift because the person who does it is probably having some liquor because it's quick. But what we do have for you is some news and gossip.
And to start off, just a little reminder, if you aren't following Days Peacock on Instagram and X on Twitter, please do so. Again, they've been really beefing up their social media on past few months with fun games. They've been doing like a Trivia Tuesday, also throwbacks with the cast. And whenever they have an opportunity to get the cast in there to comment on current events and just have some fun, they definitely do so. Make sure you're following Days Peacock on Instagram and Twitter. First up, we are starting with a former star of the show, Miss Sarah Joy Brown, who's just so talented and gifted. She played Madison a few years ago on the show. She sat down with friend and co-star Mr. Maurice Bernard. Those of you who don't know, the two had a long-standing history on GH where they played Carly and Sunny in that sort of relationship and battle and back and forth with each other. But yeah. Just a long history on GH. But yeah, she sat down again with him for the second time. She sat down with him once before a few years ago, but came back to talk about, again, their history at GH, tricks for medication. And then Sarah sort of revealed a past tragedy that propelled her to come back and want to sit down with Maurice and talk about it. But go check out that interview on Maurice's YouTube channel, State of Mind with Maurice Bernard. Those interviews are always so interesting. They always have a sort of mental health component to them and checking in on people and how they're really doing it. It's just incredibly insightful interviews. So go check them out. State of Mind with Maurice Bernard. And next up, we have a little PSA from our friend Kennedy Garcia. September is Cancer Awareness Month. If you weren't sure, and Kennedy sort of shares her story. She had a childhood journey with cancer, with leukemia specifically, and is now thankfully cancer-free to this day. She wants to share it with us that over 14,000 children are diagnosed with cancer every year, and that if you want to learn more or help, that St. Jude is an excellent organization. Any info, you can find www.stjude.org. Great thing about them, if you don't know, not only even if you're not going to hospital, one thing that they do is they share all of their research with hospitals all around the world, and that is not something that is always common. So their mission in life is just to help eradicate cancer, especially in children. So yeah, we just want to shout them out for Cancer Awareness Month. And so yeah, any more info or you want to help or donate, again, www.stjude.org. And for some happier news, we have our friend Miss Jackie Harry is teaming up with her former TV daughter, Tia Mowry. Of course, these two co-starred on Sister Sister for many years back in the day. Tia actually has a new reality show / docuseries called Tia Mowry, My Next Act. As far as now, Jackie is going to appear on one episode where she sits down with her former TV daughter to give her some motherly advice on dating and getting back into the pool, so to speak. My Next Act premieres Friday, October 4th on the network and streaming service All Black, so you can catch that there.
Also on WeTV.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. Mm-hmm. Next up, congratulations are in order for the second week in a row. But last week we told you about Mark Hopka and him having a #1 movie on Netflix, or top 10 movie on Netflix with the movie Blast. But this week he announced that he just wrapped production on a new movie called Bite that he actually helped co-produce. And Bite is an erotic thriller regarding two couples in an open relationship. And Mark and his fellow co-stars also, they sort of all came together to star in and produce this and get it made. And they are in the process of kind of bringing it around on the festival circuit to get distribution. But once it does, and we know when it will be released or streamed, we would definitely let you know about that. But again, big congrats to Mark. He seems former Nathan Horton on Days and just keeps working and starting an interesting project. So big congrats to him. Then we have a happy birthday for Miss Christian Alfonso. This past week, she celebrated a birthday. Go check out the interesting tributes. I think Lauren Koslow did a really nice one with them over the years. And if you don't know, they're really, really close, good friends. And just a snapshot of their time as friends on Days, really nice. So go check out that one, as opposed to the many others people have been giving about her long tenure as Hope Williams Brady. And of course, we know we will see her soon. I think 2 or 3 months, so to speak, coming up. So can't wait for that. But a big happy birthday to Christian.
We will?
Mm-hmm.
When they say that?
We know that.
Who?
That broke months ago. We talked about it. Remember how they're telling us 2 years in advance when someone comes on the show?
I didn't remember who. Oh, yes. I do remember now. Yeah. Because it's been that long ago.
Exactly.
That I had them forgot.
It was 8 months ago when they told us. So
a mess. Okay.
Yeah. And last but not least, we want to remind you about the podcast from our friend Miss Julie Dove, playing crazy Connie on the show. Her podcast, True Texas Crime: The Significant Life of Angela Stevens. Again, this is a true story of a woman's murder in Julie's actually hometown that she was always sort of fascinated with and really wanted to get sort of dive into. It's been such a personal journey for her. She went to interview a lot of the people involved in the family and did a lot of research on this. Like I said, this case has always sort of fascinated her about sort of violence against women, unfortunately, but she's sort of exploring this. Go check out the podcast. It is available where all podcasts can be found. Again, it's True Texas Crime: The Significant Life of Angela Stevens. So go check that out.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a personal story because she knew the victim and one of the murderers.
Oh, she did know that. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so it's very, very personal for her. So
yeah,
support Julie and check it out.
Yeah. Some upcoming events we want to remind you about that we've been talking about for a while, but they are finally coming to fruition. The first one is next week. That is the Samantha and Friends event, the Golden Age of Hollywood, happening next weekend, September 4th to 15th. There is still time to get some tickets if you like to attend. We also know that they have some upcoming events next year. We have a Winter Wonderland and a Haunted Mansion if you can't attend the Golden Age of Hollywood one. But all tickets and information for those you can find at www.samanthafriends.org. Then we have an update to our now one of our favorite scheming siblings, Mr. Jonah Robinson. We told you last week that he was starring in a new stage musical called The Civility of Albert Cashier, where Jonah plays both a hearing officer and he's also part of the ensemble. It has now officially opened. They finished their previews, and lo and behold, our co-host, Mr. Michael Mattis, covered it. So you can check out some really fun photos of the cast. And I think Patricia Darbo also attended. You can check it out on his Instagram at ML Mattis. But if you are in the LA area, you can check out the musical for yourself. It is playing at the Colony Theater Colony Theater in Burbank through September 22nd. All tickets and information, you can go to www.thecolonytheater.com.
And side note, I actually met Jonah, who plays Mark Green, this past Monday when the cast did like a little performance and promotion for the show. Very nice guy.
Cool.
And hopefully maybe we'll have him on the show soon.
Definitely. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, if you're in the area, go support it. I'm sure it's fun. It's very interesting story. So I'm sure it's even a more interesting musical. Now we have some Star Image Entertainment events, both Zoom and live. We have the sibling one coming up next week with Eric Martzoff and Martha Madison, again taking place on Tuesday, September 10th. Then we have, of course, one with Wally Kurth and Judy Evans on Wednesday, September 18th. And then it is finally almost here. We have a Heart Men of Days Nashville event happening at the end of the month, the weekend of September 28th to 29th. And again, there's an acoustic concert the following Sunday morning with Carson Boatman and Scott Reeves. And all tickets and info for either the Zooms or the in-person Hot Men of Days Nashville event, you can go to eventbrite.ca/Star Image Entertainment. And speaking of Mr. Carson Boatman, him and on-screen wife Raven Bowens have their Zoom coming up for Sunday, September 22nd. This one is with Coastal Entertainment. Go to coastalentertainment.seatengine/sites.com for tickets and info on that. And then we have a new virtual fan event. This one with Spectrum Celebrity Events with Mr. Billy Flynn. This one happening October 2nd and hosted by our very own Mr. Tony Moore here. Yes, and again, portion of sales, as usual, will go to benefit True Colors United. That helps combat homeless youth within the LGBTQ community. So yeah, tickets and information, you go to SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com.
And someone earlier asked me how the one this past Saturday
with
Zach Tinker. It was great. We got a chance to catch up with Zach. The fans asked some great questions. Zach got to ask the fans a question, so he got to kind of get a little bit of insight too. So I know that it's not a physical thing where you actually get to meet your favorite star, but it's still fun to be on a Zoom and chit chat with them. So you guys come on and meet Billy Flynn on October 2nd. I'll be there. It'll be a great time. Go to Spectrum Celebrity Events for all the details and for tickets. And you can have a one-on-one meet and greet with them as well.
Yeah,
at
totally
a separate price.
Yeah. Then, of course, we have our Soaps in the South event that is coming up. This one is for a fundraiser for, of course, the organization Camp Dream, which is an organization for kids with physical and developmental disabilities. Attending the event from Days, of course, is Patricia Darbo and Greg Vaughn, and this one is taking place October 5th through 6th in Alpharetta, Georgia. All tickets and info for this one, you can go to campdreamga.org/events. And then speaking of events, we have our mother of all events coming up, our Day of Days weekend with the main show, Day of Days, of course, happening November 2nd. This year at the Peacock Theater at LA Live downtown, hosted by our very own, again, Mr. Tony Moore for the third year in a row now. Or more updates are coming soon. We will hopefully get a roster of who will be attending, but you can probably bet it will be most of your favorites will be there. Any insight to what to expect during Day of Days, you can check out Michael Mattis's Day of Days guide. The link is on all of our social media platforms. And in addition to the main event of Day of Days, there are also many other events that are going on that weekend. If you happen to be in town, one the night before is with Starstruck Events. That one is yesterday's with the Twist, where you do a meet and greet with all of former Day stars. That one is happening again Friday, November 1st. Tickets and info for that, you can go to starstruckfanevents.com. Then also that night, if you cannot make that one, we have the Ladies of Hollywood event. That is a cocktail and dinner party happening between 5:30 and 9:30. All tickets and info, you can email Lori Beth at LoriMatrix@Yahoo. And in attendance there are Stacey Hyduke, Ely Cantu, Nadia Bjorlin, Emily O'Brien, and Patricia Darbo. So that will definitely be a fun one. And last but not least, the day players are playing the night of Day of Days, Saturday, November 2nd, of course. They have a show at the Bourbon Room, and they've added some new dates on their website in Atlanta, and especially ones in Florida, in both Naples and Tampa, where fellow castmate Leo Howard will be stepping in. I think, correct me, Tony, is that a replacement for Wally for those days, I believe?
Yeah, for those dates, he's joining in place of Wally. It looks like,
yeah. So go check that out. That should be fun. An interesting dynamic to see Leo sort of come in the mix there and have some fun with the guys. So all tickets and info, you can go to thedayplayersband.com.
All right. And that has been news and gossip. And now it's time to see what's coming up this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
You lied to me my entire life. I know you killed my father.
I know I'm Abigail Dimera.
She's not really Abigail.
I've never heard of any Everett or Bobby.
She's lying.
Connie Vaniski, are you in there?
The love of my life might never walk again for the rest of her life. Days of Our Lives.
Well,
let's just hope people make smart decisions. Let's just hope people make smart decisions.
Connie is slipping.
All right. Well, that has been Dishin Days, where we've served up a couple of dishes, quick dishes, of this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. Before we head out, Justin Lee Hareld, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And make sure you show some love to Araceli on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323 Araceli. Wish her a happy birthday from you and from us. Also, go check out some photos that Michael Mattis has done for the musical that Jonah is in, and show him some love at ML Mattis on Twitter and Instagram. Also, you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounge with Tony. You can find us, Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dishin Days. We'll be back next week to serve up another full dish of this coming week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Until then, it's just been me and Justin Lee Hareld. But next week, we'll be back in full effect.
Yes.
Have a great week, everyone. Have a safe and wonderful and cool Sunday.
Yes.
And we'll see you back here next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.